Hey Altar Church, how are you doing? I wanted to come at you live here and give you a little message, although you know I'm not live because I'm on a cruise ship and somewhere in the Caribbean right now. So I recorded this ahead of time. I knew you guys were talking about forgiveness, so I want to give a little insight into forgiveness. And sometimes when we're upset with people or we feel like we've been slighted, it's hard to forgive people. But I got one tip that I think might help you take the next step towards forgiveness and reconciliation, and that is perspective. You know, many years ago, I was working as a nurse, and I remember I was working night shift, and I got a report from the nurse who was there prior to me, and she was just as rude as can be, and she was in a bad mood, and she was angry, and she was slamming her books around, and I remember calling my wife, and I said, Andrea, when this nurse comes back in the morning, I'm just gonna let her have it. I'm gonna tell her all about herself. And you know, I was so angry, I was so mad, I was so upset, and I couldn't tolerate being talked to like that, and I couldn't imagine just treating people poorly the way that I thought that she treated me. And what my wife said to me was, Aaron, that woman's husband is dying of cancer. And it was true. And I remember thinking in that moment that this poor woman, her husband is at home, he's dying of cancer, there's nothing that she can do. And so when she's at work, she is able to exert maybe a sense of control, or she thinks she can control her circumstances or her surroundings, and so she was very forceful. And also, beyond just being forceful and exerting control at work when she has them at home, she was also grieving, and she was also in a bad mood because, you know, things just weren't going right for her. And this made me think, hey, I'm upset with her, but she's really going through it at home. And what this allowed me to do was have some perspective, and it introduced grace into my heart. And so I think a key to understanding forgiveness is understanding that maybe the people that you're upset with, or the people that have wronged you, maybe they have something going on in their lives that's causing them to act in a certain way. And if we can understand this, we can give them mercy. And I think what goes along with this is understanding that, hey, there's probably someone out there who's upset with me because I'm not perfect and I've made mistakes, and there's things that I've done wrong, maybe when I don't even know it or understand it. So while it's easy for us to get upset with other people for doing wrong things to us, we have to remember that we undoubtedly do the same to other people. So maybe understanding that, number one, yeah, people might be going through it, and number two, we're just like they are. We have problems, we have issues, we make mistakes, and undoubtedly, we've hurt and offended people. So when we keep those things in mind, when we have that perspective, it may help us cross that barrier of forgiveness just a little bit quicker. So I hope these 2 points of perspective help you. Let me know what you think, whether you agree or disagree, or how this has worked